Are you exhibiting signs that your mindset is broken? What do I mean is your mindset broken? What is it that you're thinking? I'm talking limiting beliefs. I'm talking low self esteem. I'm talking imposter syndrome. Are any of those thoughts really clouding your mind so that you are unable to move forward? They're holding you back, keeping you at a place where you're stuck and you can't see your way forward. So, yeah, if any of those things sound familiar, if you feel any of those things, there's a very good chance that you're operating with a mindset that is not totally geared to do the things or to provide the foundation that you need to make progress in your life. So, yeah, we're talking about a broken mindset. And don't feel as though that is a major criticism. Many of us operate from a state of stuck. Many of us operate from a state of not really being able to get out of our heads what we really probably feel deep down, or get our heads to coincide with what we know deep down we need to do. Because you see, it's our heads that cloud our hearts many times. Deep down, we know that there's purpose in there. We know that there's something else that we really want to do. But those thoughts just keep compounding and beating up against what we feel, what we know ought to be changed, what needs to be different, what needs to move in the direction of purpose for us and out of that stuck place. So, we're going to talk about that just a little. You may still be saying, "Well, how is it that I know if I'm operating out of a place of a broken mindset? What might that look like for me?" Well, I'm prepared to help you with that tonight with a presentation, and I'm moving quickly because I know that we still have just 15 minutes, and I am determined to make sure that I give you quality steps to help you to level up. And I promised on Thought for Thursdays, we would focus on 3 to 5 things to help you to elevate. And that's what we're going to do in, yes, 15 minutes. So there are a few signs, mindsets, and habits that have held you back. What might that look like for you? What's a sign that something isn't quite there? If you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're imagining, for example, that there is a maze there, and in the middle of that maze is the perfect place for you, that's where you desire to be. That's your sweet spot. And if you're lining up perfectly with that spot, chances are your mindset may be okay. You may not be doing so badly. But if you're somewhere on the perimeters of this thing, you're out here trying to find your way to the middle still, there's a very good chance that you haven't quite hit that sweet spot. And signs that there are some broken thought patterns or some broken beliefs that are holding you back are things like this. Sign number one, following the leader. Now, I know you've often heard that you want to be a leader in life, right? You want people to follow you. But there are times when following the leader isn't always the healthiest of things to do. For example, you're holding on to someone else's dream because you're not certain of your own. This person has been successful in what they're doing, and you figure, well, I'm just going to go ahead and latch on to their dream. It works for them. I'm sure it'll work for me. That's a broken mindset because your purpose doesn't match someone else's. It doesn't pair it perfectly so that you could duplicate. Your purpose is unique. It is your own. You may do similar things, but the way in which that is carried out is what makes yours so different from someone else's. You know that there's a calling for you, but you're not sure exactly what that calling is. Yeah, that is definitely a sign that there is a mindset in there that isn't quite exactly where it needs to be. Or you feel that the dream is just not worth you pursuing it. Definitely a sign that there is a broken mindset and something that needs to be addressed. Sign number two, to pursue or not to pursue. So, not really being able to identify your purpose yet isn't a sign that your mindset is broken. That means you may need to do some work to get to exactly what that purpose looks like for you. However, what does seem to kind of fall in alignment with this particular sign is people don't often have their purpose determined. What else happens in this particular sign of that to pursue or not to pursue? They dread going to work. They lack the motivation. They're not sure which direction they want to move in. So they really kind of are stuck. They don't know if really they want to pursue better or just stay where they are. That's a broken mindset as well. That is that perpetual stuck place where you don't know whether to go or to come, whether to sit or to stand. And that will keep you locked in if you don't do the work that is needed to get to that purpose, to get you motivated, all right, to go ahead and want to get up and do things. That there is another sign of something broken, not quite being where it should be. Another sign, you hide your light. Many people do this. They call it, I don't like to be in the limelight. I just want to stay in the background and get the work done. In many instances, that's a great thing for you if you are just a worker bee. But then there are times when you definitely need to come forward because staying behind is holding you from really reaching your full potential, reaching your full leadership potential. That is definitely a sign of a broken mindset that you don't need to be pushed forward, that you just need to continue to do the work and not have any recognition for it, or not be pushed ahead, or not being recognized, not feeling as though what you're doing is actually helping to progress you. You're always working behind the scenes. We see this a lot with volunteers and community work. And let's face it, there are jobs where you have to work behind the scenes, right? You're not really supposed to be out front. You're trying to magnify the mission of the organization. But as I mentioned, that is not always the situation. And if you find yourself feeling as though you always have to be in the back, you don't want to promote what you're doing, you want other people to take credit for you, that is a sign of your mindset being broken, and that needs to be repaired. Fourth, fear and insecurity. That's a huge one. And let's face it, we've all hit it at some point for whatever reason. Could be things that happened long ago, things that are happening right now, things that were instilled in us when we were children. Anything. This happens, you see these people are the ones again who are likely to sit quietly in the back, avoiding the opportunities for success. The opportunities are out there, but the fear is so great they don't even want to pursue them. They suffer from imposter syndrome. They know a lot of the information. They have the talent, they have the skill set, but somewhere along the line believe that they're still not qualified, or believe that they really don't represent, or that they really are the job that they can do, or the title that they have. Many of us deal with imposter syndrome, and it can really be a tremendous stronghold, something that definitely has to be broken up so that we can do the things and believe in who we are and the value that we bring. Again, this person's always working behind the scene, and they kind of make a point of never showing signs that they'll come up front. They're fearful and they're insecure, and that fear is what's holding them back from even considering pulling forward. And the fifth sign here, you put everyone else's agenda in front of your own. My time will come. Someone else can hijack your agenda at any given point. You can walk in fully determined to fulfill certain requirements for the day, and immediately someone else's emergency becomes your emergency and totally derails you, and you're okay with that. That may happen every now and again. However, it does not need to be the norm in your life. If that is the norm, yeah, there's a very good chance that that is another sign that there's some mindset work that needs to be done. We can be so vulnerable. We can be tremendously vulnerable. Focus on what and how you need to pull yourself from that spot so that you can do the work that needs to be done. So you may be saying, okay, yeah, all of these things, I know I definitely sound like one of them, maybe two. I may even be a mixture of some of them. Well, it's time to switch gears, guys. The first step that you want to take is address the root of those negative beliefs and habits that you have running around in your head, the things that are kind of clouding the purpose, the things that are the strongholds, the things that have your mindset in a state where it needs to be repaired and removed and pushed out of the clouds, right? So that's the first step. Admit that something needs to change, and the change has to start with you. First thing is that every negative thing that comes into your mind about what you can do, what you're capable of, who you are, what you bring to the world, the imprint that you have. Challenge that. And I've talked about this before. Next time you catch yourself berating yourself with negative self-talk, make it a point to stop yourself and ask, is this really true? Now, the first thing that you may say immediately is, yes, it is. However, what I want you to do when you ask, is this really true, is to search back through a time when the opposite has happened, when you haven't failed at a project and you've been very successful, when you have been successful in achieving a personal goal, when you were able to perhaps lose weight at some point, and now you feel as though you'll never be able to lose it again, when you were eating properly. Whatever it is, combat that negative statement with the positive proof that you have successfully accomplished something. So recognize it, then look at the statement and figure out what it is that you know without a shadow of a doubt can negate that negative, that can totally get away or throw away that negative thought that is trying to totally infiltrate your mind and infiltrate and destroy your life, hold you back. What else? Think of where it came from. Frequently, we can really conquer those broken mindsets if we just go back to where they came from. In many instances, we'll discover that the broken mindset came from broken people who knew no better, who didn't want themselves to pursue better, and certainly didn't know how to feed into you to make you pursue better or give you the incentive to pursue more. People who may have spoken negative over your life, saying that you will never be able to accomplish something, or, we've done this for generations and nobody has made any progress. Think back to where you may have gotten those things and then test to see if these people are really valid in labeling whatever it is that they gave to you. Are they valid to say you won't be successful? Are they valid? Do they have the credentials necessary to determine what it is that you can and can't do? Think about that. Think about that. And then let that help you to negate what you're thinking as well. What's something else you can do? What is it that you can change? All right. How if you didn't believe this? Visualize what could possibly happen if you did not have this limiting thought. If you did not have imposter syndrome, if you didn't have self-doubt and confidence issues, if you had the courage to pursue your purpose, what could happen? And let the possibilities negate anything that is saying it won't happen and it won't come. You have no chance of it coming to pass. Hold on to that hope of what can be. All right. So another way in which you can negate the broken mindset. Something you want to do as well. You may say, well, I can't remember the successful things I've done. You're saying go ahead and combat those things, the negative things, with successful things. Start a journal. Go back and start documenting. It can be in the form of a gratefulness journal. All right. I am grateful for being able to do this, to do that, to do this. And you will see some of the things that you have accomplished in life. And when you really, really get stuck, go back to that journal and say, okay, well, this thing right here that I accomplished totally negates that negative thought that I am always going to be the person who sits in the back and I'll never come up front because my ideas are of no value. Well, back 2 years ago, I came up with an idea that was able to actually get a huge plan implemented. I was able to change lives. I changed my life. I changed my condition. I got a bigger salary. Whatever it is, hold on to those things. The mind is a very sensitive place, and it really is a sponge, and you can kind of shape and form it, all right? But you've got to be able to put the right things in it. And consistent negativity is not the right thing. It will keep you in that state of what? Mediocrity, and not in the state where you can pursue things and live a life in which you thrive, which is where we want to be. Speak boldly to yourself. Tell yourself affirmations. I often hold on to the Psalms as my promises of what God has promised me in my life. Those are my affirmations. Maybe you need to get a hold of some of those and tell yourself those things so that your head will start to believe it, and that will align with your heart, knowing deep down who it is that you are. Smile when you tell yourself those things. Convince yourself, convince that head that is trying to tell you opposite. All right? So until you identify those negative or faulty thoughts and determine where they come from and if they're valid, and replace them with new, more realistic beliefs, you will stick and stay with a broken mindset that is going to hold you back and never allow you to progress. Recognize the signs that you are operating from a broken place, from a broken mindset, and then do the things that are necessary to change that so that you can move forward and not be in a continuous state of stuckness. All right? So that's it. That's what I wanted to tell you tonight. I want you to hold on to operating in a healthy mindset, one of prosperity, one of hope, one of a future, a mindset of growth, and not one of less, but one of more. Do whatever is necessary so that you can get healthy in that area. And then also work on getting healthy in the other areas, such as personal development or whatever it is that you need to do in order to move into that job, that position, that whatever it is, that business that you desire to move into. All right, that's it. Remember, we're now a part of the podcast. You'll be able to hear these on your favorite podcast streaming platform. I will definitely go and load this up on YouTube as well. You guys go and have a magnificent weekend. Make sure that you get in the rest and the relaxation that you need. Continue to be courageously yourself. Remember that. Remember, your uniqueness is needed. Your imprint is needed. Touch something and make a difference for you and for those around you. You guys have a great evening, and I'll see you again right here next week. Bye-bye.